This liquid gold never spoils. Archaeologists found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs, still perfectly edible.
But getting it from the hive to your jar is an incredible journey.
A journey that begins with 2 million flowers, 6,000 bees, and one extraordinary process. Welcome to a modern apiary, home to millions of nature's most industrious workers.
Each of these white boxes houses a complete bee colony, up to 60,000 bees per hive. A single hive can produce 6 to 100 pounds of honey per year.
Watch closely, boy. See those yellow pouches on their legs? That's pollen, collected from thousands of flowers.
A single bee visits 50 to 100 flowers on each foraging trip.
Bees can travel up to 5 miles from their hive, searching for the perfect flowers.
They're looking for nectar, the sweet liquid that flowers produce to attract pollinators.
That long tongue acts like a straw, sipping nectar from deep inside each bloom.
While collecting nectar, they accidentally gather pollen droda, making them essential for plant reproduction.
Different flowers produce different flavored honey: lavender, clover, orange blossom, wildflower.
With a full load of nectar and pollen, she heads home to deliver her precious cargo.
Back at the hive, the real transformation begins.
The hexagonal honeycomb is an engineering marvel, the most efficient shape for storing honey.
Forager bees pass nectar to house bees, who begin processing it immediately. By fanning their wings, bees evaporate water from the nectar, reducing moisture from 70% to under 18.
This process takes 1 to 3 days, turning thin nectar into thick, golden honey.
When the honey is ready, bees seal each cell with fresh beeswax, produced from special glands.
These wax caps tell beekeepers the honey is ripe and ready to harvest.
A fully capped frame like this contains pure, perfectly ripened honey.
Modern apiaries use technology to monitor hive health without disturbing the bees.
A gentle puff of smoke calms the bees, and they think there's a fire and focus on eating honey instead of defending.
Inside, frames hang vertically like files in a cabinet, easy to inspect and remove. Only fully capped frames are harvested, leaving enough honey for the bees to survive winter.
A single frame can hold 5 to 7 pounds of honey. That's thousands of flower visits stored in one place.
Frame by frame, the harvest is carefully collected and transported to the honey house.
At the honey house, the transformation from comb to jar begins.
Frames arrive sealed with wax mistake. That protective layer must come off first.
Under each wax cap lies perfectly ripened honey, waiting to be released.
The uncapping machine is the heart of honey processing.
Each frame is positioned precisely, and the wax caps sit just slightly above the frame edge.
Heated blades slice through the wax like butter.
This moment never gets old, seeing thousands of honey cells uncapped at once.
Each cell contains pure honey, it's about 0.5 gram per cell.
Even the wax cappings are valuable. Vigils. They'll become candles, cosmetics, and food-grade products. The uncapping line processes thousands of frames during harvest season. Uncapped and ready, these frames head to extraction. Honey extractors use simple physics to remove honey from the comb romas without destroying the wax structure.
Frames load into the extractor basket, positioned like spokes on a wheel.
Each extractor holds multiple frames, spinning them all simultaneously. Sealed tight, the spinning begins.
The drum spins faster and faster.
Centrifugal force pulls the honey outward from the comb cells. Honey flies from the cells and coats the drum walls. Gravity then pulls it down to the collection point. Pure, raw honey staining, still warm from the extraction process.
And out it flows imagery, liquid gold in its purest form.
During peak season, thousands of pounds of honey flow through this facility daily.
The empty comb returns to the hives. Bees will refill it, saving them weeks of wax building.
Raw honey contains bits of wax, pollen, and propolis. Some must be removed.
Coarse filters remove large debris while preserving beneficial pollen. Multiple filter stages produce crystal clear honey without removing nutrients. Settling tanks allow tiny air bubbles to rise and escape naturally.
Honey rests in these tanks for 24 to 48 hours.
Air bubbles and light foam rise to the surface and are skimmed away.
What remains is pure, clear, beautiful honey.
Ready for the final stage, Outwalfie, meeting its jar. Before bottling, every batch undergoes rigorous testing.
Moisture must be below 18%. Any higher, and honey can ferment.
Color grading determines the honey's classification, applying from light, delicate to dark, robust. Purity tests confirm this is real honey, not adulterated with corn syrup or other sweeteners. Tests passed. This honey is certified pure and ready for packaging.
The bottling line transforms bulk honey into the jars you find on store shelves. Glass jars arrive clean and ready pliant, the perfect vessel for honey. A blast of sterile air ensures each jar is perfectly clean. Honey flows from settling tanks to the filling station through food-grade pipes.
The filling machine is mesmerizing to watch.
Thick, golden, and glistening sets. Every jar fills to exactly the right weight.
Hundreds of jars per minute, each one identical. Every jar is weighed. Too much or too little gets rejected. Filled and verified, the jars move to capping. Golden lid spouts are fitting for liquid gold. Each lid is placed and seated perfectly. Tight seals lock in freshness more. This honey will stay perfect for years. Sealed and secure, ready for labeling. Labels tell the honey's story: variety, origin, harvest date.
Whether it's wildflower, clover, or lavender, each variety has unique character.
Every jar is coded for traceability, Isondi, from hive to home.
One final check ensures every jar looks perfect.
From bees to bottle, Intirad, the transformation is complete.
Jars are grouped for retail display and shipping protection.
Into shipping cases they go, protected for the journey ahead. Sealed and ready for distribution. Case after case, the honey moves toward its final destination. Palletizing stacks cases efficiently for truck loading. Wrapped tight for safe transport. Ready for delivery to stores near you. Warehouses hold enough honey to sweeten millions of cups of tea. Trucks fan out daily, delivering liquid gold across the country.
From rural apiaries to urban supermarkets, here the journey continues.
Final stop near Lead, your local store.
And there it waits, ready to sweeten your morning toast.
When you reach for that jar, you're holding something extraordinary.
2 million flower visits, 60,000 bees working together, months of patient ripening, and it starts all over again with one tiny bee and one perfect flower.
Nature's sweetest gift, crafted by the world's hardest workers.
That's how honey is harvested, a journey of 2 million flowers for just 1 pound of liquid gold.